Back live with you tonight here on In Focus, and thanks for staying on. The KwaZulu-Natal administration has made yet another change to its council. The realignment follows the resignation of Sports, Arts and Culture MEC Amanda Bani-Mapena last month. She's now replaced by KZN ANC heavyweight Dr. Ntuthuko Mahlaba, with Sipho Nkosi replacing Mahlaba at Human Settlements and Public Works. To make sense of these changes in council, we are now joined by Blessed Gwala, the IFP Chief Whip in the KwaZulu-Natal legislature. Gwala, good to have you, and thank you very much for your time. Will this reshuffle provide KwaZulu-Natal with better governance?
Yes, the IFP notes the appointment of the two MECs, that is KK Nkosi, who is MEC for Human Settlement and the Public Works. But this has been long overdue, and one can see that it was done deliberately in order to deal with the issues of 2024 general elections rather than service delivery. We are saying that this because the ANC has realized that the ship is sinking as we approach 2024 local government, and they have decided to appoint KK Nkosi, who has been very active, especially in finances, as he has been running the portfolio committee of finance in the legislature, but he has been sidelined for over a period of time, and we think that this is rather than political, not only to beef up the service delivery in the province of KwaZulu-Natal.
As the IFP, how do you view the performance of Dr. Mahlaba at that particular portfolio of human settlement and public works?
No, in fact, he hasn't done nothing. He has done nothing in that department, and we believe that the 4.3 billion rand that has been allocated to that department can be utilized better by KK Nkosi rather than Dr. Mahlaba, who is a professional doctor. But when it comes to these things of service delivery, I think he hasn't done very much. And unfortunately, he has been also shifted to another department, rather than to be shifted back home.
Yeah, but that's where I was coming to. You're saying he didn't do much with the budget, particularly at Human Settlements and Public Works. Now he's being shifted to Sports, Arts and Culture, also a rather important portfolio in terms of bringing the arts closer to the people who possibly could be unemployed and could be needing to an outlet for their talents. What benefit, what is he bringing to this particular portfolio?
I don't think that will benefit anything as the people of KwaZulu-Natal through him in that department, because it's a unique department when it comes to sports and arts and culture, and they need a very capable person to run that department. And
when you look at the process of this reshuffle and how it was done, it's raised some questions in other quarters, for example, around where decision-making is sitting in the executive. The Premier is not in the country. There's an acting Premier as this reshuffle is happening. Has that question come up for the IFP?
No, I don't think there was anything wrong with the appointment of the MEC or MECs while the Premier is outside the country, because the acting Premier has the authority actually to do the job of the Premier as normal as it is. That's why when you are to take such a position, you have to go through the judge and you swear as an acting premier, as long as the caucus of that particular organization has agreed that he can do so, there is nothing wrong with that.
Yeah. The view that many have shared to say that this is it's the Democratic Alliance in particular's view that says it indicates that the powers of decision-making do not lie with the executive, but rather lie with the party at provincial level. What's the view of the IFP on that?
No, but it is obvious that in every organization, although it is done behind the scenes, but the truth is that whatever an executive is doing takes it from the caucus of the ruling party or any other party when it takes a decision. Any person who takes a decision in that capacity, then the caucus has agreed that he must do so. So I don't think that there was anything wrong with regard to the appointment of the MEC or MECs while the premier was outside, because there was somebody who was actually acting. I don't think that there is any problem with that.
Yeah.
Unless the premier herself says that it was done without knowing it, then it will be a different story.
Now, there have been a number of other issues that have been raised, particularly around the Department of Public Works. I see there's also a resignation in that particular department following allegations of corruption. Do you believe that MEC Nkosi has enough political independence to be able to deal and track quite successfully the root of this corruption and certainly bring some degree of accountability?
Yes, he has been thrown in the deep end because he is left with only 10 months or 11 months before the elections. When he is thrown to that department without the head of department is a challenge for him. And at the same time is that as the IFP we are looking whether the ANC will be able to uproot and investigate the corruption that has taken place in that department. And also, the opposition parties are looking to this whether it will be done properly, particularly because there is an information that the head of department, although there is this alleged corruption, but he has been given a golden handshake of 2.1 million rand. So we need to uproot that information and see whether the ANC is honest in doing what it's doing right now.
The former MEC for Sports, Arts and Culture is said to be resigning to avoid, I suppose, to be accountable for 4 million rands that was especially spent on alcohol in April 2023. What does the IFP know about that?
Yes, we are also investigating how true that 4 million rand can be spent on such thing. But if it is true, I think that it's not only the MEC that is supposed to be accountable. The technocrats are involved. Even the person has resigned, who is the HOD for the department, need to be grilled on this one because it's the person who is actually in charge of spending such an amount of money for nothing.
Gwala, I appreciate your time. Thanks so much for coming on. That's Blessed Gwala. He is the IFP's chief whip in the KZN legislature.